I'd say it's good.
Yeah, well, you're not going to get it any better looking. It just has to be squared up. It just Watching someone get injured is considered an art in Mississippi.
Nice.
Mississippi is the home of Hold My Beer. Yeah, the problem is I'm supposed to be funny.
Oh, okay. Well, you could try that here if you wanted to.
No, why start now? I mean, we're 16 episodes in.
Yeah.
Why start trying to be funny? That's right. You got lit up?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how, considering you just opened that bottle. Good evening, folks. I'm CR Parsons. I'm one of the Smokey Guys.
I'm the other Smokey guy, Kevin Price, as usual.
And welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for joining us again.
Mm-hmm.
All three of you.
Yeah, we thought we were going to have a guest tonight, but he chickened out and decided to just be a substitute producer.
Yeah.
So shout out to Pete, who had some really good bourbon, or was it bourbon, or was it just whiskey?
It's a blend.
It's a blended.
blend.
It's a special edition of that Blackened, the Metallica, I guess, kind of sponsored one, or not? I don't know if it's sponsored or just they have something behind it.
Yeah, their names on it somehow.
Yeah. It's the 72 Seasons, which I'd seen through some of the whiskey groups and stuff, but I really, to be honest, don't know a whole lot about it. He probably knows more and could tell us, but he didn't want to be on camera.
Right. So he's not allowed to talk about it if he's not going to be on camera. See, we're going to talk about you whether you're on camera or not.
You're going to be a part of that.
Well, welcome to the Smokey Guys Podcast. We've had quite a week this week. It was 4th of July week, so you guys are watching this at least 2 weeks in, because it'll be sometime at least a week from now before we get this out. But we had quite a 4th of July weekend.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't really even know what day it is, to be honest. They all kind of run together.
I have been thrown off all week because we had holiday celebration over the weekend. Then we had a work day, which I was wall to wall. Then we had the actual holiday. Then we had another work day, and I've been lost as to what day of the week it was all week long.
Yeah, mine started off on Friday because I've got a group of buddies that usually it's Father's Day weekend we do this, and somehow this year it kind of got pushed off a little bit. So we ended up doing our kind of, I guess you call it kind of a guy's day out.
Okay.
We start off playing golf on Friday out at the Hard Rock Casino here in Tulsa. We play their course, Cherokee Hills, and usually it kicks the crap out of us, and so we end up going back after, it's also 110 degrees outside or whatever.
That day y'all were playing, it was painfully hot.
So I convinced the guys this time. I was like, okay, normally whoever wins the round, the twosome that wins, they get first showers. This time I just said, hey, you know what? Forget the whole shower thing. Just go to the pool. So we went, and they always give us wristbands, and we never go.
Right.
So, out there on the course, I was just told everybody, I was like, you know what? I think the best policy for this day is we'll drink like 45 beers apiece out here on the golf course because it's mostly water. We're trying to hydrate.
4 hole. I mean,
yeah, that's not that big a deal. And then we went to the pool, and we had more beer in the pool and carried more beer up to the room, which, by the way, I didn't know this up until this time. Casinos will no longer let you carry a cooler into the casino.
Oh, really?
They're saying it's the Able Commission, which I guess it could be Able that's doing it.
Probably.
But yeah, they actually stopped, because I normally take a little cooler out on the course and then take the cooler up to the room, and we polish off whatever. And I usually buy the beers at the course, so it's their own beer that they're turning away.
Right.
But yeah, they wouldn't let us carry it up, so we had to take pool beers up to the room so we could have a shower beer. And but yeah, it all worked out great. Went and had absolutely one of the best meals I've had in quite a while at McGill's on 19.
Was it that good, or was it just that
it's probably
good?
Just warranted because I hadn't eaten all day.
Right, because you hadn't eaten and been drinking all day.
But I'm telling you, I've eaten there a handful, I don't know, half a dozen times or more, probably more than that. But of all the times I've eaten there, this was one of the most exceptional times ever. The food was just spot on, everything we had.
Now, you called it McGill's on 19. I know this because I'm from here, but for those who are not from here, why do they call it McGill's on 19?
Because it's a local steakhouse called McGill's, and it's on the 19th floor.
Oh, I thought it was the 19th hole.
Right? No, you would think so, but it's on the 19th floor.
Okay. So I was wrong about why they call it that. I have not eaten at that McGill's at the casino. I've eaten at the McGill's restaurant over where is that? 61st.
61st and
Yale area.
Yeah.
And that's a really good steakhouse.
I think they closed the one down at Utica Square.
I think so
There
too.
used to be that one. That was the original one.
Yep. I believe that's right. But yeah, they've always had really good food.
Yeah, I'm having trouble keeping this one lit.
Uh-oh. What is that one?
This is a Buffalo Trace cigar, courtesy of our good friend and former episode guest, Mr. Hank Wilhelm from Golden City, Missouri.
Gotcha.
He came in on Monday, and we went guitar shopping. And
Oh, did we talk last episode about what happened to his guitar?
No.
Let's talk a little bit about that, because that was a weird situation.
That was a super weird one. We were playing a show in Jasper, Missouri for their big fireworks display. And there's 3 of us playing, like, song swapping. And so the third guy's playing his song. And right in the middle of the song, we hear this loud pop. Almost like glass breaking. It was just this really odd sound. Well, Hank and I look at each other and we're like, what was that? You know, maybe somebody threw a firework or something. It's
right.
Just odd.
Something in the sound system, that's what you always worry about.
And in a minute he looks down and he like looks over at me and holds up his guitar, and it had split down the side.
Ooh.
It's called weather checking apparently, and it just was so hot and humid, it just popped that wood.
Wow.
It's real scary. I mean, those guitars aren't cheap.
Right. What did
He has
play?
a
Hummingbird
Pro.
Oof.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you don't want to see that happen.
And Gibson's known for making good guitars, so I can't imagine it was a guitar problem. I imagine it had to be something to do with the weather or situation.
Yeah. So I called our good buddy Seth Lee Jones here in town, who's a luthier, and he said just bring it in. He said we'll get it fixed up, and I'm sure they're probably gonna put those little clamps on the inside and pull it together and clamp it and reglue it. And
yeah.
It'll be good as new.
Do something to stop that crack from running.
Yeah.
Now, it cracked on both sides?
Yes.
At the same time?
Yeah.
So it just popped.
Yeah. I think people don't understand what tension that wood's under with the strings tight as they are. And
yeah.
Honestly, if you ever see a acoustic guitar, there's no reason for that thing to hold together the way it does anyway, with the tension it's under.
You're right.
It's
they
insane.
really should fold up.
Yeah.
They really should fold up. And bass guitars are even worse.
Yeah.
They're under even more tension because the strings are so much bigger, and they're still under a lot of tension. You are struggling with that thing. I have smoked those Buffalo Trace cigars, and they're usually not that bad at staying lit.
It's probably just me talking too much, not getting a good burn on it. And, but yeah, you should know about those bass guitars snapping. Give you a little bit of
okay.
What was that we were drinking? Oh yeah, it was the what's that liquor that makes you see stuff?
Absinthe.
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah. To be fair. That was not the guitar's fault. We were during COVID, right when COVID started. A buddy of mine was doing a Zoom comedy podcast thing for 24 hours.
Yeah.
And it was a big fundraiser for those folks in the hospitality industry and entertainment industry who went from having work to no work overnight. And so we were involved in it, and it was a full day of events. I did some comedy on it. You and I did some music on it. We had a big finale show, and at that point, I think I had been drinking 22 of the 24 hours. And the absinthe got to me, and I took a stumble and had a bass guitar in at least 2, maybe 3 pieces when I stood up from my stumble.
It happens.
It does.
But I'm being probably very unoriginal in smoking this cigar and then pairing it with Buffalo Trace whiskey as well. So
Hey, it's really easy to pair a whiskey when they have a cigar named after the whiskey. I have had the Pappy cigar.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I did not pair it with Pappy whiskey.
Oh, it's a shame.
Well, I didn't have $1,500 to spend at that very moment.
Right.
So I did not choose to pair it with Pappy whiskey, but I'm sure it would pair well.
Oh, I can't imagine it wouldn't.
I can't either.
But
But is that pairing well?
oh, well, let's find out. Let's see. Still lit. Get that going for us. Very nice. They're complimentary of each other. And I'm still on my way to getting lit. So this is all right.
How would you describe Buffalo Trace?
I hate to say run of the mill, but it is. If somebody comes over and doesn't know if they like bourbon or not,
Mm-hmm.
that's probably one of the first things I'm going to hand them. Just because it's so approachable, it's not harsh. It's 90 proof.
Yeah, it's got all your sweet corn notes
Yeah.
that you're expecting in a good bourbon.
So, yeah, that's just the way I'd put it. Is just it's very approachable.
It's definitely not overly complex.
Right.
Not at all.
No.
Not like that Blackened was. That Blackened. What was the barrel it was finished in? Cognac.
Brandy barrels. Yeah.
Brandy, and you could tell it has a nice strong brandy note.
I'm a rye guy, so I liked it because I liked the rye.
Yeah.
It definitely had that going. I was
Well,
happy with it. So
speaking of ryes,
Yes.
I learned last week that I have my wife properly trained. I did not realize she was trainable, but apparently I have her properly
she
trained.
doesn't watch this. It's okay.
Yeah, she's not going to care.
We'll get that in post.
No, she was up in Missouri with her sisters vacationing, and they ran into a Sam's, and they ran across, in Missouri, Sam's sells alcohol.
Right.
Not like around here in Oklahoma where you can't do that. And she ran across a huge selection of alcohol, and she messaged me with pictures and went, "What do you want?" And it had all of these pictures of all of these different whiskeys. And so I started checking with her, checking on prices. One of the ones they had, one of my favorites, Angel Envy Rye.
Can't beat it.
Oh, not at
Wonderful.
all. Not
Especially
at all.
for the price you got it for.
Exactly.
'Cause I know around here it's $89.99. Some stores are $99.99. Just kind of depends on where you go and what kind of relationship you have with the owner.
Yeah, it was about 30% off of that.
Yeah.
And that was one I picked up, and the other was a barrel Seagrass.
Just another awesome rye.
Now, that is, you talk about one that has a complexity of flavors. I'm going to have to pull that out one night for the podcast and go through a tasting of it.
Yeah, because it's aged in Armagnac
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
barrels,
And
which is awesome.
yeah, gives it a very interesting, very spectacular flavor. So I was really happy. I did not know she was that well trained.
Well, talking about Seagrass again, and Mr. Hank Wilhelm, he calls me one day and he says, "Hey, I played this show last night at this club here locally there in Missouri, and the lady made me a really good old fashioned, and I had way too many of them." And I said, "Oh, really? What'd she make it with?" And he said, "Something called barrel Seagrass." Wait, she made you an old fashioned with an $80 bottle of
No
rye
kidding.
or $90, whatever they run? I'm
Yeah.
like, that's insane. But hey, if you're not paying for the drinks, let them mix it however they want, I guess.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I'd have been drinking it neat, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm the same way. Well, I'm sipping on some of that Mythology that I talked about last podcast because I still had some of it left. So
And you're finishing up a cigar because we kind of
I am.
got
I'm
an
closing
earlier
this
start.
one out. This is a 2012 Maduro from Oscar. We had a big Oscar event, and I bought a bunch of Oscar
same.
because there's something about Oscar cigars. They do a great job with their entire line. I think there's been one of any of the Oscars
It was
that I've
that
tried.
orange camo one, right?
Yes.
The Hunter, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Because I remember we were sitting smoking it, and I took a pull on it, and I turned and I said, "This isn't that good a cigar." And then I went, "Wait, let me rephrase. For Oscar, this isn't that good a cigar." it's probably a great cigar for anybody else, but my expectations with Oscar are high.
Yeah, well, when you start off with the Superfly, knowing what we smoke, we like the spicier, more, medium to full.
Absolutely.
And that's where that fits, is in that category. And that Hunter, whatever, didn't hit that mark at all.
Not at all. Not at all.
But the first 2012 I had was not the Maduro, and I didn't really care for it as much. It's probably just a little too light. And then you gave me one of those, and I was like, all right. Well, I missed out on buying that box, but if I come home with 6 boxes, my wife's going to kill me. So.
That's why I don't go home with them.
Draw the line at 5 boxes. Okay?
I put them in my cabinet here. I tuck them away somewhere. I don't have her that well trained.
Yeah. But I really like that new Heaven and Hell they have.
Yes.
The wrapper's cool too. The little band around it. It's got the wings that stand out.
Mm-hmm.
It's always kind of a fun one to show off.
Only problem I have with that is I collect bands. I don't know why. I one of these days I'm going to find a craft project for them. But I collect cigar bands off of any cigars that I smoke or that other people smoke if I can grab them. That one I have yet to get a full band off of it cleanly.
Yeah.
To be able to save it.
I've got a
because
box, so.
Well, the thing is, the wings, when you pull the wings out, it leaves such a thin little piece of paper that when you go to remove the band, it ends up ripping instead of coming apart, and so it just drives me nuts. So that's one of these days I'm going to get a hold of one of those bands.
And so you're just kind of setting the stage here, because at some point you're going to pitch like a Pinterest page.
Oh, absolutely.
Where you're doing something with these bands.
Absolutely. I'm going to start a YouTube tutorial channel of crafts with cigar bands.
You ought to make like a kilt with cigar bands.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Make Schultz like a hula skirt out of them. I think that'd be
just
great.
You tape them all together and make them look like a grass skirt.
I noticed he has his old man glasses on.
Yes, he does. He's trying to read something over there.
Well, he's probably trying to type another text and not misspell.
Yeah, he apparently Alan Iverson was supposed to pick me up tonight to come over here. I thought we were going to have him as a guest.
That's what I read too.
But apparently, I guess Uber changed my driver.
Yeah. And
it was not Alan Iverson as was quoted in the text earlier.
Such disappointment.
What are you smoking tonight?
Romacraft.
Of course it's Romacraft.
Yeah.
Which one?
Intemperance.
That's a good one.
Yeah, he's our resident one-trick pony.
Yes, he is. We were talking earlier, and he was like, you know that Slobber Knocker by Romacraft? I'm like, yeah. He goes, that is one huge cigar. I'm like, well, yeah, it is pretty big. He goes, I wonder how it compares to that Digger, because our buddy Darren always smokes the Diggers, and I do too occasionally, because they're like 3 cigars in one.
Yeah. Because
they're huge. So I looked it up. The Romacraft is a 7-inch by 56 ring gauge, and the Digger is a 8.5-inch by 58 ring gauge.
Ooh.
I mean, that's sizable.
Yeah.
That's a lot of smoke.
That extra 1.5 inches will get you every time.
Every time. My wife wishes for an extra 1.5 inches every time. Every time. But yeah, so your Friday night, or your Friday you spent doing the golfing and the gambling, I assume, since you were at the casino.
Yeah.
Did you do any good at the craps table?
No. Not like Vegas. It was just hit or miss. There was a couple of really good runs, and then nothing. It went cold, and it was odd for like a Friday night of a holiday. There was hardly anybody out there.
Oh, really?
It was very just a sparse crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Not what you're used to seeing at any of the casinos around here.
Yeah.
So it's kind of odd. But then we got up the next morning and all said our goodbyes and got out of there. And what did we do?
You had a wedding
I had
Saturday.
a wedding Saturday. Yeah, that's
You've done nothing but party and drink for a week now.
Yeah, so got to go watch some good friends get married at this real cool place southwest of Sapulpa. It's up on a hill. I think it's called the View on the Hill, which is pretty spot on in their description again.
Yeah.
Which was cool. Shout out to the Freemans. he's no longer a free man.
Ah,
But that joke was made numerous times throughout the night.
I'm sure it was.
But yeah, it was a real good wedding, and so yeah, 2 consecutive nights of partying turned into a 3rd consecutive night when we went over to our buddy Adam Green's house, who's from Max Barbecue up in Skytook.
Yep.
And we put on one of the best fireworks shows I've been a part of in a long time, because I almost didn't. This time I didn't almost die.
Right. Last year we almost lost KP, and we almost lost Adam Green.
Yeah.
Last year there were a bunch of guys out lighting fireworks, and everything was lit by hand, and we were doing fine. Stuff was going off. Everything was going great. Right up until the finale, when everybody decided we needed to light like 6 of these big old fireworks.
That are like 6 foot long, 500 shot cake, the big ones. We decided, what would be real cool if we light all those at the same time.
The problem was nobody was communicating. Yeah. So, and it was dark and smoky. The fog of war had set in.
Yeah, it was a very bourbon-y evening.
It was
if I can describe it that way.
That it was as well. And so all I saw from my perspective, because I was staying out of the lighting of the big fireworks. I have had my experiences with fireworks as a young person and almost killed myself more than once. Yeah, I have had to count my fingers more. I had a cousin whose favorite thing to do was to take a firecracker, light it, and then hand it to you. So he's handing you a lit firecracker, and you better get rid of that thing quick. So I stay away from the big fireworks. All I see through the smoke is I see Kevin leaning over a firework. I see Adam run up and almost push him off of it, and then it go off, and I see flames around both of them. And I just know we've lost KP and we've lost Adam. And luckily you survived it fairly unscathed.
Yeah, just some tinnitus, and went blind for a few seconds, maybe 10 seconds. Couldn't see anything but, just white light.
Yeah, our buddy Adam did not fare quite as well.
Yeah, because whenever it went off, it actually blew out the side.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've been around those fireworks, there's like little, I guess it's the calcified like gunpowder and stuff.
Whatever
anyway,
it is.
It blew out the side and got him in the neck and sliced his neck open. So he had blood coming out, and he's running towards the house with blood all over, and I disappeared because there was just smoke, and I was running the opposite direction because I couldn't see anything. But yeah, that was quite a scary year.
Yeah. So this year we were a little more organized, a little more structured, and Adam went to the trouble of getting an electronic thing to set off the fireworks. So they had little squibs that you attached to the fireworks, and then he had a remote to set them off, which half worked.
2/5.
2/5. 2/5 worked. Well, we were 2/5 in anyway.
Yeah.
So
thanks to my BLT salad, that kind of did the trick. Yeah, if you ask me to cook and I'm not in the mood to cook, you're gonna get something liquor involved. So I was tasked with bringing the BLT salad. So I took a big bowl, rolled salad on it, tossed in a bottle of bourbon, some limes, and tequila.
BLT.
Yeah. And we took that out to the truck as we were lighting fireworks, and we just opened them all and sliced limes and had a lot of fun, which I was really surprised. This is one of those times where I'm going to share a very cheap alcohol with you that shocked me. Was Lunazul tequila. I do not like the silver. I don't like just the regular, the Reposado, the gold. But their Anejo is $23.99 a bottle, and it drinks so much better than that.
Does it?
I didn't realize it was the same brand of alcohol. It was so good.
See, I saw tequila and I went, no, there's bourbon in this house. I will pass on the tequila.
But it was great. And then, like I say, yeah, we lit off all those fireworks, and they went great. But man, the star of the show was that warpath that I kind of set off in the middle because we didn't realize what it was going to do. But it sounded like a minigun going off. It was so awesome.
It was great.
So awesome we had to go buy another one for the next night.
Yes, it was not a cheap firework, but it was worth every penny. But we set off so many fireworks. I honestly think there are municipalities that
Yeah.
didn't have as good a fireworks show as we did
Guarantee
Sunday night.
it. Guarantee it. So yeah, that was a great event, and we got to play music with our friends out on the porch.
That we did.
And just entertain a whole bunch of folks, which is always a good way to end the evening or early morning if you count 4 a.m. as
Yeah.
it's still night or morning, but
Well, our producer Kevin was going to have to go to work Monday morning, so he was questioning whether or not to join us. And I promised him that if he came, we'd be done by midnight. We're going to shoot off fireworks at 9.
Yeah.
We'll be done by 10. We'll play music for an hour and a half. We'll be home by midnight.
oh yeah.
Yeah. What time were you in the Whataburger
drive-thru
drive-thru?
is 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And I was at work at 8 a.m. So you could have made it. I'm just saying. You can shake your head all you want. You could have made it. Sometimes you just have to man up and take one for the team.
But there was a bunch of good bourbon drank that night. Oh my goodness. I got to try one that I had never tried. I had the brand before, and that is the Kentucky Owl. Kentucky Owl bourbon. But the one that he had, the expression he had was a Mardi Gras something.
Yeah.
Do you know
I don't
more
know the
about
full
it?
name about it or anything, but it was wonderful.
It was really good.
We had Barter House, which is my all-time favorite. You can't find it anymore. If you do, it's gonna be about $800, $900.
Yeah. So if any of you viewers out there want to gift us a bottle of Barter House,
We'll review it and we'll talk about it.
we will review it. We will mention your name on the podcast.
Mhm.
We will probably send you a thank you card or
Or
something.
you could just show up and hand deliver it. And we'll put you on the podcast.
There you go. There you
It's the
go.
least we could do.
The least.
And
Now, is that one of the Orphan Barrel?
yes, it's from
Series?
the Orphan Barrel. And then Fable and Folly, which came out last year, is like 47% Barter House. So it's close.
Yeah.
Not quite, but it's really, really good, and it's
Yeah.
worth every penny if you can find it. Yeah, we had that. Let's
Old
see.
Forester birthday.
The birthday bourbon.
Birthday
He
bourbon.
had, man, he had a really good Jefferson Reserve. And it's gonna escape me, but it's named after a lady who was a big moonshiner.
Oh,
Anyway, I'm
can't
kind of lost
remember.
on it. It's about a $350 bottle of bourbon.
Yeah.
Phenomenal bourbon.
Yeah.
We were drinking that as we were grilling burgers. just passing the bottle around. That's a great bourbon.
Yeah.
We had the Heaven Hill 20.
Mhm.
Gosh, I'm trying to think what all was out there that night. We had so many great bourbons.
There were a lot of great bottles around that night.
Oh, all the Blood Oaths from, we didn't have 1 or 3, but we had 2 through 8 or 9. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah.
But
Yep, that's always a good time because there is always good bourbon at that particular party.
and great people. And great
Absolutely,
food.
absolutely. I mean, the people are why you go. The bourbon is why you stay.
Yeah, exactly. Or helps you stay and deal with the people. I don't know. There's something to be said about that.
Makes you stay because you can't drive home.
Yeah. So Monday night for me was a stay-in night. I was kind of done for a night, and I just needed a night to recoup after going so hard from Friday on.
Yeah.
I think you guys met up and went to Classic or something on Monday night, didn't you?
Did we do that Monday night, Kevin?
Yeah, that was Monday night.
I can't remember.
yeah.
They've all run together at this point. Yeah, we did. We did. Oh, that's right, because we ran into some friends of ours out there who we hope to have on as guests on the podcast before too long.
Yeah, Randy and Sherry Davis.
Yeah, the Davises. They're great friends. They're from Oklahoma City, but they also hang out here in Tulsa occasionally. And
Good folks.
so we got to see them and a bunch of other folks, and so it was a good Monday night,
Which led into Tuesday.
which was a good day as well.
Yeah.
Lots of good food. Of course, why wouldn't it be?
When you're at Nick Parsons' house, who just happens to be the king of hasty bake,
Mm-hmm.
you eat really well.
Yes.
And the surprise for me was when he broke out this barbecue aioli
Yes.
that they just kind of formulated, and oh my gosh, they're gonna bottle it. And
I hope they do.
I'll bathe in that stuff. It's
Absolutely.
amazing. It's
Absolutely.
so good.
It was delicious.
And we ate good. We played a lot of music out at his house and had a great group of people to hang out with.
Mm-hmm.
Did fireworks again and put on a heck of a display, for America's birthday. And it's so fun having such a great group of people and friends that we get to celebrate for so many days in a row.
Absolutely.
just consider yourself blessed.
Absolutely.
But I got to thinking, so you had a cousin that would hand you a lit firework and think it was funny.
Right.
Is that because, like, I mean, I know you're from Mississippi, so do most of your relatives have, like, extra appendages to make up for the loss of teeth? Or...
no, it's just...
I mean, he's blowing off, risking blowing them off. You gotta have extras.
Watching someone get injured is considered an art in Mississippi.
Nice.
Mississippi is the home of "hold my beer." I mean, that is where that saying comes from.
Yeah.
I used to joke that we used to go rafting down the river. I say rafting. It wasn't rafting. It was tubing.
Okay.
Where you take giant inner tubes from
No,
tractor
we
tires.
raft.
Yeah, we raft.
We raft.
We were tubing.
Okay.
And my uncle would go, "Hey, you want to go tubing?" And I was always like, "Yeah, I'm up for tubing. I love going tubing." I did not realize for years that tubing in Mississippi speak is Mississippian for get in the river and get drunk.
Yeah.
Because apparently that's what all of the adults were doing while the kids were tubing.
Yeah.
Was tubing with us and getting drunk. But yeah, watching somebody get injured, watching them run their tube into a tree, or watching them run into a tree with a snake in it and have it fall into their lap, that is great fun and hysterical in Mississippi.
Yeah, we kind of do the same thing. We just have much bigger tubes that have 150-gallon coolers in the middle of them.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
God forbid the water's low and we have to get out and pick the thing up and drag it through the rocks.
Yeah. I'll tell you, when I was younger, we used to go to this place called Spring River, Arkansas. Have you ever been there?
Nope.
It is in northeastern Arkansas, somewhere. I'm not sure where, but I could probably find it if I needed to. But I loved going canoeing there. Now, we actually canoed in actual canoes, which means we fell out a lot more often than we do out of the rafts. But we would go canoeing there, and the water is spring-fed. That's why it's called Spring River. Spring-fed, so it is cold year-round. So we would go up there during the summer. It could be 100 degrees outside, but you'd get down into this valley to camp out the night before you went canoeing, and the fog would roll in because the water's cold and the air's hot.
Yeah.
And you would freeze to death camping in 100-degree day,
Yeah.
and you're freezing at night. And then you go get in the river the next day, and it's bitter cold, but you love it because it's hotter than Hades. And there are 17 waterfalls.
Oh, wow.
As you're canoeing down this river, ranging from 6 inches to a 6-foot waterfall. Now, there's a way around that one where you go down a couple of smaller ones, but you can go down a 6-foot waterfall in your canoe, and I have done that. I've never managed to do it in the canoe.
Yeah.
I have
You and the
always
canoe
ended up
went over,
out of the
just-
canoe.
Just not together.
Right. But yeah, I loved floating Spring River, Arkansas.
Any issue with, like, leeches?
No leeches. It's too cold water.
I'll say, well, every spring creek that I've ever swam in had leeches.
Really?
It's the weirdest thing. The water could be, 45, 50 degrees. Tons of leeches.
Huh. I've never run into that except for down in Louisiana in some more, brackish still water.
Yeah.
That's where I run into leeches.
Gotcha. Well, so that wraps up what we've done,
Yep.
I suppose.
Yep. So I guess now we ought to talk about what we're gonna do.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good idea.
What are we gonna do? I have a hellaciously busy month.
Yes, you do.
So I'll let you start.
So being in comedy, it's so yeah. I'll have already done this by the time it comes out. My monthly gig up at Shangri-La, I go up and play acoustic tunes at docks up there and just hang out with the great crowd every time.
Oh, and being middle of July, it'll be a great crowd. It'll be huge.
Should be a lot of fun. In which that place, they've done so much cool stuff up there since they've renovated it, and it's got the new lodge, and it's got a couple, 2 or 3 bars, a couple restaurants, and that one
huge outdoor pool and hot tub area that is just awesome.
state of the art. It's amazing. And so yeah, I'm gonna go do that on Friday, which will be the first Friday of every month except October.
Have they opened that new golf course out there?
Yes, the Battlefield, I think is what it's called.
Yeah,
it's all par 3.
I know they had been working on it for like the last year and a half.
Yeah, there were folks playing it last time whenever I went up, and it looks awesome.
We're gonna have to go play that sometime.
Yeah, it looks really, really neat. And par 3s are always fun because you don't have to carry all that many clubs, and you can just,
If I'm playing a par 3, I need 3 clubs. I need something to drive with because I can't hit worth squat. So it doesn't matter what you give me; it's going to go the same distance.
Your driver off every tee, par 3.
I need a 9-iron, and that can work as a fairway iron. It can work as a pitching wedge. It can work as a sand wedge. That's all I need, and then a putter.
There you go.
3 clubs is all I need to play a par 3. Because no more clubs are going to help me.
Well, yeah, it's harder to carry more than 3 clubs and carry a case of beer.
Good point.
That's a big enough par 3. They were using carts and stuff. So
oh, really?
Yeah, I'm anxious to go up and try it sometime.
Well, it looks amazing driving in and looking at it.
Yeah.
A lot of rolling hills they've created out there, and a lot of interesting stuff on that course.
For sure. And then they got their 2 full 18s as well, which are just amazing golf courses.
Yes, they are.
So yeah, I can't wait to do that. And then let's see. Then the following weekend, the 15th, I'll be in Golden City, Missouri for Golden City Harvest Days, playing with the Tri-County Troubadours.
Yep. What's Hank going to be playing?
Fun. He's going to be playing a guitar of some kind, probably one of mine.
Oh, okay.
So that's probably how that's going to go down. Which is always great. Like I say, the whole town turns out for it. So it's always a nice big crowd. They have a huge cornhole tournament. I mean, there's like 50 of those boards lined up, and everybody's just playing cornhole all day, and so they're usually pretty good and juiced up by the time we get ready to play. And,
nice.
And they stick around and dance and have a good time. Then 21st, 22nd, we're out at Osage Casino Tulsa doing our full band thing.
Yes, we are.
Friday night, I think, is Gabby Barrett from Nashville. She'll be playing ahead of us, which will be an awesome show, I'm sure.
Yes, it will.
And that's also Slamboree weekend out there again.
Oh, is it?
So the
Nice.
Slamboree folks will be back in town. They come in from all over the world. They bring in these like big, like 3,500 dualies, like these big trucks, and they're all slammed to the ground. And they have other stuff too, but I'll always look at those big trucks, and I'm always just amazed at how that much metal can be that close to the ground. And looks so dang cool,
It was
around
really,
here. All those trucks are just jacked up to the sky.
Right. It was really cool. The first time they were out there when we played, we were talking to some of those guys, and a couple of those guys were from Ohio.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting and talking to them, and they were going on and on about the fact that what we were playing was what they listened to up in Ohio sitting in their garage.
Yeah.
They sit around and work on their trucks, and they play a bunch of red dirt music. And we were surprised because I expected them to be hip hop music. I mean, we're talking
whatever.
about,
Something
we're talking about
besides our type
lowriders. We're talking. I expected different kind of music interest from them. So to have them be interested in what we were doing was really cool.
Yeah, so they'll be out there all weekend. Last time it was over 500 people that were there for it, which was really cool.
No, over 500 trucks.
Trucks, yeah, there's 500. I should say truck. Yeah,
So over 500 vehicles.
Yeah, very cool event, and I'm looking forward to that. And then the 28th will be at Osage Casino, Bartlesville for the first time.
Yes,
so
we will.
I have no idea what to expect, but if you're up in that area, come hang out with us because we'll probably be lost for a while.
Yeah, we
I'm
will.
sure they have bourbon, so we'll be okay.
Yeah, we'll make it. We'll make it work. We'll make it work.
What about you?
Oh my goodness! This weekend, which this will come out after this is over, but I've got a show called The Riff Show, which is one of those weird comedy shows where you go up and you spin something or you push a button and a computer pops up a topic and you have to riff on that topic for 5 minutes.
Oh wow!
Yeah, you talk about making a comedian's blood run cold. Stand them up and say, okay, you've got to talk about something you're completely unprepared for. That's what this show is.
So it's kind of like a podcast.
It's very much like our podcast, yes. You flip the camera on and go.
We really don't know what we're going to talk about. It just comes out.
Yeah, the problem is I'm supposed to be funny.
Oh, okay. Well, you could try that here if you wanted to.
No, why start now? I mean, we're 16 episodes in.
Yeah.
Why start trying to be funny
Yeah.
now? But that's coming up, and then I've got I'm recording a new game show, comedy game show. I don't know how much I can say about it. I haven't been told. I haven't had to sign an NDA yet,
Well,
but we're actually filming that, and we're going to film several episodes of that over the course of one of the weekends. Then on the 19th, which this will come out in time for. This will come out before that happens.
Yeah.
Now, whether it comes out in time to get tickets to it or not, I don't know. But that is Smokes and Jokes over at Classic Cigars and Lounge here in Tulsa. That is an annual event that I do. I bring in comedians. We have a couple of cigar sponsors, a couple of alcohol sponsors, whether it be beer or whiskey.
sometimes both.
Sometimes both, and we package all of that together in one good night of
Yeah.
cigars and comedy.
For like $40-$45, whatever it happens to be, you get usually a couple, 2-3 cigars and a couple of drinks. I mean, that right there is worth its weight in gold. And then you get a
Comedy show on top.
top. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I think this time, one of our buddies from that cigar bar is about to open his own brewery.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called. Do you know what
Nope.
it's called?
I have
A
no
new
clue.
story.
A New Story.
Hey, there we go.
A New Story. So look that up before too long. I don't know if they already have their social media up or not, but A New Story Brewery is opening up, and I think he's going to bring some samples for us that night.
Ooh.
So
Very
I'm excited about that because he and I have been talking brewing lately, and that's been kind of fun.
It's
Very
good
cool.
beer. I've tried it.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
What did you try?
He, the one thing I remember, it was like a Mexican lager. It was good.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Very cool. Then then I'm with you guys the 21st and 22nd.
Yep.
Then on the 23rd, I fly out to Denver because I'm meeting my cousin and
Is
some
this
buddies.
the firecracker cousin?
No, this is not the firecracker
okay.
cousin. This is the cousin on the North Mississippi side of the family, so a little more calm,
Yeah.
but just as much fun. He and some buddies and I are going up to Cheyenne, Wyoming for Frontier Days,
Very cool.
for the Cheyenne Rodeo, and we will be there Sunday night through Wednesday. And I know Zach Bryan is playing Sunday night, and so I'm hoping I can get a hold of Zach and maybe get a chance to say hi while we're there.
That'd be very cool. Then you got to get right back because we have a show,
Yes.
and it's the same weekend as the Blue Well Comedy Festival, which you're a huge part of.
That is correct. Blue Whale Comedy Festival is a big comedy festival we do here in town. This will be, I believe, its 7th year
I was gonna say
happening.
7 or 8.
But
There was a break.
we missed 2 years due to COVID. So I think this is our 7th, and I think I may be the only comic that has been on every single year of the festival.
Yeah.
But I'm on it again this year. I'm doing a brunch show with your brother, Rick Shaw. Not his real name, that's his stage name. But he and I do this show called Too Many Cooks, and it's so much fun. It's kind of like the Riff Show in that we put comedians on the hot seat because we give them a topic that they have to do material over that they're not prepared for.
Yeah.
And then we make them cook something for breakfast at the same time.
The added level of difficulty there, especially because a lot of them don't know how to cook.
Right.
So I went to the one last year and had a blast watching everything go down, and
It was so much fun.
that was a cool show. So yeah, if you're out and about, that's a free show, right?
Yeah, that one will be a free
There's like
show,
no
and
tickets,
that's
so it's
Saturday
just-
morning, the 24th,
Ninth.
6th.
Maybe.
Is it the
We're the 28th.
28th?
So it's
29th. 29th. Thank you.
That's what
See,
his producer sees.
yeah, that's good that you're here to keep me straight.
It's a hard day for me to forget. So
Oh, is that your birthday?
yes.
Okay, okay.
Oh,
So
that day.
we will be celebrating our producer's birthday that day.
maybe you ought to get him up, make him cook and tell jokes.
You know, if he shows up, I just might. Because I will have the microphone and I'll be in charge. And nobody can tell me what I can't do at that point.
And that one's gonna be is it Chimera
No, yeah, it's going to be at Chimera,
or Chimera? How you say that? I don't know.
downtown Tulsa.
Great coffee shop, great food. awesome place to go.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. They're doing it there. That'll be a neat change of venue. And,
It will be.
yeah.
It'll be a great show. It'll be a great weekend. If you're in the area, get tickets. I know VIP tickets are sold out, but there are still day passes and individual show tickets. And that'll be a great time.
Are there any big names coming?
I know Sarah Sherman from Saturday Night Live is going to be here. Joe Pera. I'm trying to remember some of the other names. I'm terrible about this. I have not
Put
done
you
my
on the hot
PR
seat, see?
I have not done my PR training, so I don't know all of the names. Thacker. What is Joe? Not Joe Thacker. I'm thinking of Joe Crocker. Maybe it's Tom Thacker.
Yeah.
Anyway, this festival is known for having comedians who are just about to be regular names.
Yeah.
So we've had Natasha Leggera before she became huge. We've had
Banfield.
Michael Ian Black, Banfield. Yeah.
Can't remember her first name.
What is her first name? It's gonna drive me nuts now.
You had, wasn't Michelle Wolf?
Yeah, Michelle Wolf. I opened for her one year, and then she came back another year. We've just had a bunch of great names through, but all just before they became huge. And so that's kind of what this festival is known for, is being that festival you go to see people before you can't afford to see them.
Right.
But,
You get to see them up close, too.
Right.
That's the other thing. And you get to interact with them. A lot of times they're just walking around watching the other shows, and if you know who they are, you can chit-chat with them. And
Absolutely. So it's going to be a great weekend, but yeah, so this month is just wall to wall, night after night for me.
yeah.
I'm just stacked with stuff this month. So I'm taking August off. I don't know if I told you that.
Mm.
No, I'm just kidding. It would drive me nuts to take a month off. I love looking at my calendar and seeing full dates.
I liked one year. It was one of the first years I got to go to the Blue Well and like hang out backstage and do all that stuff. But we were hanging out with a couple of the guys that had performed, and it was like 3 a.m. and they're like, "Man, we're starving. We really want to get some food. You know, what do y'all have around here?" And I said, "Oh, we'll just take you and get some tacos." And they're like, "Dude, we're from LA. We know what good tacos are, because
LA has good tacos.
Great tacos. Just ask anybody from LA; they'll tell you how great their tacos are
In LA.
in LA." But yeah, they were like, "Really?" And so we took them to Tacos Don Francisco, who used to be open till 4 a.m.
Right.
And we're back there, and they're just going to town on these tacos. They're like, "Dude, these are amazing." I was like, "Told you, Tulsa's not the redneck capital you think it is."
That's right.
We actually have a few good things around here.
We do. Speaking of good things, I have to mention this cigar that I'm smoking. This was a gift from our buddy Boston Mike.
And future guests.
Yes, absolutely future guests. Oh my gosh, Boston Mike. Pete's cracking up behind the camera because he knows Boston Mike. I call him Bill Burr's older cousin.
Yeah.
Because he looks like Bill Burr, he sounds like Bill Burr, and he tells stories like Bill Burr.
Oh, hands down. We even went to see Bill Burr with him, and it was amazing to watch people like react as he's talking to us out in the the lobby way. As people are going by, they're hearing his voice, and they turn around immediately because they think it's Bill Burr just walking around talking to people. But yeah, he'll be a great guest to watch. That'll be the episode to definitely tune in for.
Yep, but this is what he gave me for getting those tickets for him. Is this Padron Family Reserve, and I don't know that it's their 50-year anniversary, but it does have the 50-year ring on it. So it is a spectacular smoke.
Yeah,
Spectacular
I've
smoke.
had a couple of those thanks to him.
Mhm.
They are wonderful. That's the beauty of like the cigar bars around here, and Pete's guilty of this because he'll just inevitably walk over and hand me a cigar, and I'm like, "Thank you. This is awesome."
There is something.
And I try to return the favor.
There is something about cigar culture that does that.
Yeah.
My cousin, who is not a cigar smoker, last time we went on vacation together, we went down to Texas because we don't know how to vacation. But we went to El Paso and then drove around through New Mexico, and we ended up in Fort Worth, down at the stockyards, and went to the rodeo and all that. And so I'm walking around the stockyards trying to find a cigar shop. I'm like, surely this is Fort Worth, Texas, if there's going to be a place where there is a good cigar shop, it's got to be in the stockyard.
They've got to have guns, barbecue, rodeo, and cigars. I mean,
Exactly.
You got to have all, and alcohol.
They just go together.
Yeah.
Well, I kept going to one place that I was told it might have cigars, and they'd send me to someplace else, and then so I had been looking all afternoon for cigars. And so we're sitting outside this bar, just having a drink, chit-chatting, and I had been told there was one more possibility down the way, about 3 blocks away or what have you. And this guy comes walking by smoking a short story.
Yeah. Fuente.
Yeah, Fuente short story. And I stopped him and I said, "Did you get that cigar here?" He goes, "No, I brought this one with me." I'm like, "Dadgummit." I said, "I've been looking for cigars all day." I said, "I've heard down here there might be a place that has them, so I'm going to go check down there." And so we chit-chatted for a moment, and then I left to go check. Well, I get a message as I get down that 3 blocks, and of course they didn't have cigars. My cousin going, "Hey, you need to come back," and he sends me a picture of a brand new short story sitting in an ashtray. He said the minute I left, this guy's wife walked up, and he goes, "Hey, babe, can you run to the car and grab my little portable humidor?" Brought his humidor back, and he
Nice.
gave me a short story. And my cousin was like, "He just gave you a cigar?" I'm like, "Well, that's kind of cigar culture.
Kind of what we do.
If you know somebody's a cigar person, you help them out if they don't have one, or
Right.
if you have one that you think they would like."
And that's what these two gentlemen do. You can't see them because they're behind the camera, but Kevin has gifted me with some really, really good cigars.
Absolutely. What was that one you gave me the other day? The Roma Craft little bitty one.
Oh, yes. I can't remember the name right now. The Weaselettos.
Weaseletto.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was almost cigarello size. It was
Okay.
that small. Not truly that small. It was a little bigger ring gauge than that. But it was only about 2.5 inches, maybe.
Yeah.
It definitely wasn't 3 or more. But
Because you know what 3 inches looks like.
well,
Well.
when I can see it.
Yeah.
but yeah, that cigar was spectacular. Had great flavor, and that's the thing is with that small of a cigar, it's almost all wrapper.
Yeah.
So you're getting all of that wrapper flavor, and it was just so good.
Heck yeah. Yeah. So just a lot of dead space there.
Well, I mean, that's what.
We're inevitably going to run into that occasionally, I think.
Who was it? It wasn't Churchill. It was somebody else that said, "Any good story worth telling can take a break for a puff."
Ah.
So I guess this is a good story
There
worth
we go.
telling.
Yeah.
Oh well, I know we're going to do the where are you and where can they find you, but
Mhm.
before we do that,
Yeah.
I want to mention I am working on some stuff for the podcast for the Smokey Guys to make available to you guys if you're interested in purchasing some promo material, some products, some
Yeah. Swag.
I'm looking at some T-shirts, maybe some kind of book of some kind. But as I'm working on that, I just recently put something up on Amazon. It is a cigar journal. It's called the Cigar Journal for Working Men. And if you look up Cigar Journal for Men or Man for the Working Man,
Ah.
if you look up Cigar Journal for Men, you won't find it because there are a million things under that. But if you look up Cigar Journal for the Working Man, I've got a cigar journal on there. It's under my name, CR Parsons, and it's a neat little journal. It's got a log book so you can list your cigars and when you smoked them, and then it's got individual pages where you rank the flavor, the strength,
Glue the bands in.
yeah, you glue the bands in, you put down, how much you purchased it for, what size it was, and your thoughts on it, what you ate and drank while you were smoking it, so you can keep track of all of that. So it's just a good little journal to keep track of what you've smoked. Because one thing that I was told to do when I started smoking cigars 30 years ago that I didn't do was keep track of what I've smoked. Because over my lifetime, I have smoked some unbelievably good cigars, and I forget until it comes up in conversation or something triggers my memory. But I'm sure there are some that are just lost to time. And it's good to keep track of that kind of thing because you can look back and go, oh yeah, I need to get some more of those. Or, oh, that's one I can never find again, but I had one.
Yeah.
So look that up on Amazon if you're interested. It's not very expensive. I think they're $9. And if you're a Prime member, it's free shipping. So
There you go.
not bad at all. So look that up. Until then, where can they find you?
All the social medias at KP Troubadour, at Kevin Price Band, either one of those. And you can just come out and see shows and hang out, and we'll have a cigar together, have some bourbon, something.
Absolutely.
What about you?
I'm CR Parsons Comedy or CR Parsons Comedian on all the social medias. If you want to reach out to us, you can email us at thesmokeyguys@gmail.com.
Yep.
If you want to email me directly, I'm booking@crparsons.com.
If you want to email me directly, don't bother.
He won't read it anyway.
I won't read it.
He won't read it
It's
anyway.
okay.
But yeah, connect with us. Let us know you're out there. Let us know who's watching and what kind of stuff you're interested in. If you have a cigar you want to suggest, we'll try to find it. If you have a cigar that you want to send us for us to sample, let us know. We'll tell you where to send that.
Whiskey's the same way. Just
Absolutely.
Let us know. We'll go out and find it, and
we'll
make it happen.
give it a test and a review.
Yeah. So make sure to like and subscribe. Click the little bell so you get notifications.
I forget to do that every time.
Whenever we post new videos. That's always a good thing.
I think that's about it.
I
So
think we've pretty much covered everything.
until next time,
Stay smoky.